Oh, okay, yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Michael Hurley.
This is No Singles, a podcast where we discuss albums from front to back in an attempt to promote comprehensive album listening. My name is JR.
I'm Nate.
And today we're talking about two albums, as per usual. Plectrist by Billy Bauer and Broken Social Scene by Broken Social Scene.
Cool albums.
Yeah. I mean, they're all right. I'm just kidding.
Dude, Plectrist, I walked around Central Park yesterday and listened to it.
Yes, that's like the perfect place to do that.
That was kind of the... I walked around Gramercy.
Oh my God,
it,
yeah.
Whenever that was, like 3 weeks ago or something. and then, yesterday, found myself near Central Park, and I was like, I gotta listen to this in Central Park. It was perfect, too, because it's like cold out right now, but it's sunny.
Mm-hmm.
So, or it was yesterday. So the tourists were not really out and about.
We love that.
So it was really nice. The cherry blossoms are coming in there.
Oh my God, yeah. We gotta go check them out at the Botanical Garden. Did you ever hear about Billy Bauer before?
No. Had you heard of Broken Social Scene before this?
No, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I had like one or two songs saved on my playlist, but I didn't know the name.
Yeah, you didn't know it was them.
Back when I was a playlist person, I had them on a playlist. I can't even remember which one, but no, otherwise no. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like both of ours are just kind of like unknowns to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I found Billy Bauer when I moved to New York City, and I moved to 47th Street, Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
In Manhattan, and I would walk around with my headphones in. Anyways, okay, I got super stoned, and I'm just walk around Midtown and listen to this album. Yeah. Which is like he recorded in that area, and I was living in that area when it was just really cool, man. It's a really special album, and it will always remind me of my first year in New York. Yeah. It's special.
It's a good album. Although I guess we're doing Broken Social Scene first.
Broken Social Scene.
Yeah, so you've listened to a couple of their songs before.
Yeah, I can't even remember which ones, but they were good. Like they were good enough where I would return to some of their songs. I liked this record. It's not what I expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking at the album cover and the name, I just expected something more. And just like knowing you, I expected something a little more like hardcore, a little more like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like less gentle
than this. Like
something like like a little bit more harder rock.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
That's like looking at the album cover and the name of the band, and just knowing you, and I was I expected something a little more, but this was like a really awesome like indie sound. This is like a solid indie rock sound. Mm-hmm. It's not like light though. No. You know, like I gave it a good like upper medium. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think this album's kind of easy. I guess their first one is a little easier from what I've been reading.
Really?
But I don't think that they're necessarily... They're everything that I've been reading, they are more of a cult sensation sort of band. So
upon my first listen, I didn't look up anything about them at all. I thought this was their first album.
Oh, yeah,
it just sounds like a first album, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's the third.
I know. Wow. Holy shit, they're junior.
But the thing is that they keep adding people to their music collective.
There's fucking 22 of them, man.
Yeah. So it's like you can't. So like there is going to be some sort of like new sound going on,
which is like the point, right? We don't want to do the same thing all the time.
Yeah. Broken Social Scene. It's from Canada.
It's our second Canadian band.
Who else did we do from Canada?
Arcade Fire.
They're from Canada? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
This is Broken Social Scene's third studio album. Follow-up to what was supposedly their quote-unquote masterpiece, You Forgot in People.
I did see a lot about that online.
Yeah, people fucking love that album.
I am so excited to check that out after this week.
Kevin Drew, the quote-unquote like frontman.
What did he draw?
He drew the... Kevin drew the artwork for the album. Did you see what it was supposed to be initially? The artwork?
I couldn't find that.
It was supposed to be Pangea, And then...
Oh, I thought you were talking about, like, the image that's on the album. He probably had, like, a separate drawing.
Yeah, I don't know what skyline, if this is supposed to be skyline. Like, this is supposed to be, but I couldn't...
Probably Toronto, I bet you.
Yeah, I'm guessing, because they're, from Canada. But, and the album was going to be called Windsurfing Nation with Pangea artwork.
That's so cool, man.
And instead, it's just Broken Social Scene with
a doodle.
Just something that he drew up.
I really like this album cover a lot.
Yeah.
I think it fits the sound of the record perfectly. Like, that's exactly what the sound looks like.
It's messy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The core members, the quote-unquote core members of Broken Social Scene are Kevin Drew and Brendan Canning, who started off the band as a duo with the first album, when they did the first album. And then Justin Peroff, Andrew Whiteman, and Charles Spearin. Those are the, like, quote-unquote core members. But Broken Social Scene is a music collective.
This is our first collective.
This is technically not a band, because people just wander in and out. And they even talked about this with the writing of the album. Is that, like, they would be like, okay, who's here right now? Who can, like, record this song? Okay.
Cool.
There's 4 of us here. Let's just get this one down. And then you'd have, 9 people in the space that day. It's like, okay, let's just get everybody on this track. And
that's cool, man.
they were really loose about the way they recorded this album.
It can either, like, work really well or be terrible.
Them as a music collective is already, like, this, like, loose way of playing, like, with other people. It's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they pulled it off. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah. David Neufeld produced the album. Of Neufeld, Kevin Drew, the frontman, said, "It was difficult to work with him and give him so much control. But in the end, we were satisfied with what he did."
No comment.
Yeah. They I'll be honest, listening to interviews with them and reading stuff, like, it feels like the band they're like the collective or whatever. They all have a lot of problems inside the band with each other too. And their writing process seems kind of hardcore sometimes with how much they all disagree with one another. There's disagreement in the creative process, or if the album's sound is messy or not. And I kind of got the idea that they really are the self-described beautiful mess that they say they are, and that's why the band is called Broken Social Scene in the first place.
Makes sense.
Everybody in the band has a different opinion on how the album turned out.
I'd love to hear all 22 opinions.
Man. Yeah, how many people were on this album?
22.
22 people. Most everything was done on the first take.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick, okay.
Most lyrics were made up on the spot.
Cool.
Kevin and Brendan, the 2 founding members of the band, said in 2005, kind of jokingly, but being a duo with an 8-track recorder in the basement would be great compared to this.
It's not very nice.
Around this time, they had just been touring You Forgot It and People. They were touring for like 3 years straight or whatever.
Dang.
And the band was just like anxious and falling apart and stuff. And they wondered if it was even going to like keep going at a certain point. That's where their final track on the album, It's All Gonna Break, comes from.
Really? No way.
Yeah. Yeah, just the idea that, it's all gonna break. Like, it's all gonna fall apart. They were fractured and stuff. There's 3 different women who, like, come in and out of the band.
Yeah.
And someone was, like, cheating on their wife with one of them.
Broken social scene, indeed.
Yeah, so there was a lot. And then, that didn't end well. So then there's infighting there. There was a lot of infighting in the band and stuff. So it feels like it's a lot of kind of broken people who come together in this group, all playing with each other. And instead of it being a healing thing, they're all kind of hurting each other.
Makes it even worse.
Yeah, and a lot of people like don't necessarily seem fond of one another sometimes. Do you want to just get into the album?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because they have kind of an odd starting track for this, considering like where it goes after that.
Dude, there are so many sounds from so many bands in this track.
I know.
I'm getting like Radiohead.
Oh yeah, a little bit of like there's some Silver Sun pickups in there, I feel
Silver Sun pickups, Phoenix. I get Phoenix vibes from this song. There's a lot going on in this track.
And we just named 2 bands that weren't even like established when this was out, you know.
I know. You like this? You like this song?
Yeah. I think this is a good intro track for the album, cuz this is an overture. Like this is such an overture for an album, you know. It's really like you're going to get some high-pitched vocals, you're going to get some like the tambourine, the dun dun, the odd tambourine that comes back later in one of the songs.
Cool.
And you hear all these just different like horns and stuff.
There's a lot going on.
It's like it's a melodic semi-insanity.
It looks just like the album cover.
Yes. Yeah. This is, I think it's a great overture track. Like, and this is part of an album too. You know, this is not a standalone thing.
No, it loses so much of its essence if you just like pluck it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Leave it in its context, and it's like this beautiful little preview.
Oh, we didn't even, our faces split the coastline in half. We didn't even name the damn track. What about you? What do you think?
Oh, I love it, man. It's a great overture. It's a great gentle intro.
Yeah.
I wrote down great indie Phoenix vibe.
Yeah.
It sounded I thought the whole album was gonna have much more of this exact particular sound, and I was happy when it didn't. It's not that I don't like this sound, it's just like what the album turns into is really cool. So this is a nice little, I don't know. Hey, we're Broken Social. Watch out. Here we are.
Yeah. This is another one of those opening tracks on an album that's making me pay attention to the writing of an album. Yeah. And how you don't just throw a bunch of tracks on something. Like, this is kind of carefully put at the front of this.
Do you think the rest of the album is carefully organized? Or is it as messy as they proclaim to be?
It's also messy. But this as the leading track instead of... Because then when we go to IB, Dreams of Pavement, like, once we get to that... Then this is more set on a certain trajectory at that point. But like this is just kind of like very open and being like, this is like, we are introing you to what this album is about to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could go anywhere after this too. It could be like a hard rock song. It could be like something really soft.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect, dude. I'm sitting in the coffee shop listening to this and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
All right. Well, you want to...
Ibby, Dreams of Pavement.
What a great song.
What do you think of it?
Oh, it sounds wonderful. It's like a rocketing track. You know, it's just it just kicks this off into indie rock.
Yes.
You know?
Wait, we didn't even say what year this came out or when it came out.
Maybe Dreams of Pavement.
No.
What was 2005.
Dude, the aughts, man. I'm telling you, everything is in the aughts.
I'm telling you, man, 2005. I talked about this on whatever episode. 2005 was such a great year for music. But yeah, and then this is coming out in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And they're really fucking with some great stuff on this album. And
tell them about the part we've been singing all day. The snare.
The on Ibby Dreams of Pavement, which you know, we both think it could be a nod to Pavement.
Yeah, come on. It's got
one of the great 90s rock bands, dude.
The album of this Broken Social Scene album, the colors on the album, it looks like it's really similar to the Pavement Art Blanc album.
Yeah. And then the well, I got shot right in the back. Oh
man.
Yeah, and then you even point out he like blows out the mic a bit. And you might care about that on a different album, but on this one, it's so loose and sloppy that like...
It kind of adds to it just a little bit. It's like, hey, he's probably in there. Like you said, they're just doing things like 1 or 2 takes, and he's like, fuck it, we'll move on. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, it just gives it more of like that indie garage rock vibe.
Yeah, they're just in there
loose,
pulling this off quick. Yeah.
Dude, music doesn't have to be perfect.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't. And even like with like the way that we even write music, I think we're a little more particular than this. And we're not particular.
Yeah, no.
You know, but like this is still like scary a little bit to think about playing something like this that sounds so like loose and sloppy. But it sounds so good on here.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
The producer, David Newfield, did a great job.
He was the one who they said, they were like, it was really hard to give him all that control. it was like constantly, he's like, but, we really liked what we got out of it, And I'm like, well, why say the first negative thing?
Well, he's got to say the first part.
7/4 Shoreline.
I love this song, dude.
It's so good.
Oh my god. If I'm not mistaken, I had this saved on a playlist a long time ago. Dude, I think it's my favorite on the album.
It's a great song.
Maybe... actually, there's a couple that tie with it. Maybe one or two others. But this is a great song, dude. It's in 7/4. I love my weird times.
Yeah, sure. 7/4. 7/4 Shoreline.
But Shoreline is in parentheses.
It is. It's used as the theme for CBC Radio 1's Main Street program broadcast on CBHA in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Where famous, what's his last name? I don't know his last name, but Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
That's where they're from.
You're talking about a show that I've watched a few episodes of.
Really? Oh, man, I've seen every episode.
I know you and me were talking about this. I was like, yeah, I've watched a few, but...
Halifax, baby!
Halifax, dude.
We could tour up there.
Yeah, let's tour anywhere, except for North Korea, maybe.
Sure.
Sure, yeah, no North Korea.
North Korea is blacklisted.
North Korea is out.
Sorry, Kim.
Oh, the drums are solid on this track.
Holy shit, I know.
Kicks off with a great little jam at the start that's just in 7/4.
Yes.
Vocals come in solid. Feist is singing on this one. Feist, I think, is a way bigger deal in Canada than here, I'm guessing, because she's got a huge following.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a great track. This is one of my favorites on the album, too.
It's so driving, and there's a lot of momentum.
Ibby Dreams of Pavement and 7/4, both of those are some of my favorites on the album.
Dude, the horns at the end.
Yeah, that
horns little
at the
drum
end.
fill at the end too. However it goes at the very end, you're a drummer.
Yeah, it just ends. You get some like mighty mighty boss tones, kind of horns in there.
I was like in the coffee shop yesterday. I was thinking like, why does this feel so familiar?
Finish your collapse and stay for breakfast.
What? They have great song names.
Yeah. It's a nice little kind of reset track, even if it's this early in the album.
I was going to say, I think a little interlude it's a little early for one, I think.
Yeah?
I personally am still really into like Shoreline. I want something maybe like slightly less energy or slightly more.
Yeah.
Just not like this ambiance, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I'm okay with this, actually, just because, like, they just played something big. And I'm like, I'll take some slowing down, but it's not too long either. And I'm like...
It is
all right.
Pretty short. It's like, what, a minute and a half or something?
Like, by the time that I could even be bothered by this, it's over, So I'm just like, all right. That's okay.
I think if I was spinning the record and I wasn't, like, looking at it, I would think it was part of Shoreline.
Right.
Like the outro,
Yeah, like a long outro.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, do you have anything on it, or it's just, it's such a short track?
Ambient, gentle interlude.
yeah. And then major label debut.
Cool name, again.
Cool name. What do you think of
this song? It's not like my favorite or anything. It just gives me such like a unique feeling.
It's perfect on the album, too. It really is.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. We don't need that interlude there. Because you could do Shoreline right into this.
100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, the interlude's fine. It's cool. It gives me. Do you remember like the early mid 2000s movies where like the character goes on a trip somewhere, or they have like a mission or goal or destination, and then like the little montage or whatever that plays when they're trying to get there? Yeah. This, in my mind, is like the song that would play for that.
Are you talking about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty again?
No, that's not an early 2000s movie. God, I love that movie so much, man.
I'm like, wait, are you trying to fit The Secret Life of Walter Mitty into this episode too?
I mean, it's in there now since he brought it up.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hold on. What year did that come out?
I'm gonna guess 2010.
No.
What year?
2013.
2013.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like the aughts movies. Like
the movie only came out 12 years ago. That movie feels like it's been out for 15, 20 years now.
I kind of think it's a little more recent feeling.
Yeah?
Personally.
Yeah.
I didn't see it till like, I don't know, like
I didn't see it.
2021.
Oh, yeah.
I
saw it in like 2017 or something.
Did you see it in the theater?
No.
Me either.
I saw it at home. I just the part in the movie where he's at Papa John's and he's on the phone with Kristen Wiig and he's like,
We've had the same conversation.
Yeah, that scene just sticks out in my mind because I'm like, what a fucking awful ad. What a stupid scene.
I know.
And she goes, did you get one of those sodas that they serve there too? With the free refills?
Ben Stiller, I love you, man, but what the fuck?
I'm sure they both got a whole house out of that movie, right? Like, that's
like when I saw TV Girl and he stops the show and randomly, right after a song, he's like, hey, thanks for coming out to Knockdown Center. This whole entire tour is sponsored by 7-Up. So go grab a 7-Up at our concession stand or at one of the delis outside.
Oh.
And the music kicks right back in. I look at Vanelli and I'm like,
I'm sure
what the hell?
I'm sure there's like some wheels on that. Whereas, and I think I've told you this story before off of that one, but I saw, I don't remember who they were. They opened for Puddle of Mud and they were much better than Puddle of Mud. They were a million times better than Puddle of Mud, but they were sponsored by Jaeger. And they're like, we're all sponsored by Jaeger, and Jaeger gets you fucked up. And then they all are like, and since we're sponsored by Jaeger, I guess we're drinking some Jaeger on stage. And they all like have their own bottles, and they're sort of like being like if we have to do this,
yeah.
And so they all like take Jaeger, they're like Jaeger, and they're like everybody cheer for us, and they're all like just like pounding Jaeger on stage, like we're getting fucked up on Jaeger.
You did this to us. You made us do this.
Yeah, they're sort of like backhandedly like getting drunk off Jaeger.
That's hilarious.
And
man.
I was like, this, if you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it. And I'm sure that 7-Up was like, don't mention alcohol or something like that. But if it was us, and we had to do that, I'd be like, how do you take your 7-Up?
I drink it with this tequila and dump the tequila on myself or something crazy.
Or you're like, I take a little bit of 7-Up with my tequila, and you like just pour like this much 7-Up into it, and you're like, drink, something where it's like,
I put a drop of 7-Up in every tequila shot.
Yes, yeah,
something silly.
Yeah.
No lime because the lime's already in the 7-Up.
No lime because 7-Up took care of that. Major label debut sounds great. Going back to my love of the Flaming Lips a little bit, I get a little bit of like Philip Coyne in there.
Great name, Philip Coyne.
Yeah, this thing is quiet and gentle, but driving, especially in the post-bridge portion. Yeah.
The crash cymbal has some really awesome swells. That was so into.
Yeah, those swells, especially at the beginning of the song, just like that kind of keeps it moving.
Yeah. Yes. They got the mallets.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Percussion in the song rocks.
Yeah, it does. It does, because
that's holding the song
that
together,
last chorus is the lyrics and the melody don't change at all, but then everything under it pushes it forward and drives it in that last one, and it's just it's the same song still. Yeah. But I'm so excited to hear that last chorus.
It's fresh. It's different than what you heard before.
It's such a great way to build a song.
And the placement is perfect too.
Especially with how sloppy,
this doesn't feel sloppy though at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's surrounded by sloppiness on either side, but this song comes in, it's very gentle and straightforward, and it just kind of has its time and goes away. And then you go into Fire-Eyed Boy.
Oh man. I wrote in all caps. My favorite.
That's your favorite song on the album?
I don't know, man. I like a lot of songs on here, but this song the guitar tone at the beginning is so nice. It's such a nice little jangly melody,
Yeah.
But it's not jangly, it's more of like, it's just, I don't know, dude.
It cuts in and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to listen to this whole song. I'm not going to hit skip on this one.
It's unskippable.
Yeah.
Another soundtrack feeling.
Fire-Eyed Boy, give 'em all the slip. What a great melody. That's such a hook. That's such a vocal hook.
What does he say?
Fire-Eyed Boy, give 'em all the slip.
Cool. That melody hook is really complimentary to like what they're doing on the guitar.
Yeah.
And then here and there the drummer will hit the closed, the like slightly closed or slightly open hi-hat.
Yeah.
Everything is like coming together to make this really specific, like nostalgic feeling. There's something about that song that feels really nostalgic.
Yeah. It sounds so good. It's very like right dead center aughts.
Yeah.
Indie jam kind of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like making you feel like young but like hopeful for the future, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the feeling the sound gives me. I don't know about what the hell he's singing about.
Actually, yeah, I don't know what he's singing about either. But even, I mean, this is a good place to even bring up, like, this is indie rock, but it's really sloppy. It's not necessarily put together and polished. If you think about, like, what else was coming out, like the things that we just named,
right?
My Chemical Romance, The Killers, even AFI had been like a punk rock band all through the 90s and stuff. And then by 2005, they're really cleaning up their sound, doing more of like an emo noise, right? And they're really kind of bringing it together and being polished in the studio and stuff. And then you got Broken Social Scene. Kind of, you know, if you still wanted like some like messy indie rock, you could go to this album.
Yeah, it's something so totally different than this like really polished, like these other bands have like a certain exact vision of exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And Social Scene is just going in there and it's like, let's just write some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I don't know, I think it's great.
They even said that like we added people to our lineup for this album in an attempt to kind of make ourselves a little more marketable and like have like these like attractive younger people in the band. And they're like, I guess it didn't work. Well. But the other thing is like they let themselves be sloppy on here, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that. But the other thing was I was like, well, you guys weren't as polished anyways because this is the album you came up with, which is a great album. But yeah, I thought that was interesting when they said that.
Dude, what do you think of Windsurfing Nation?
It's so good. It's so good. It's those, we were just saying this, Radiohead. It just sounds like Radiohead for the first like 45 minute, whatever.
Well, Tom York plays on this track.
No, he doesn't. It's like a warm up for the first 45 seconds, right? And then you get that you get that guitar that comes in.
It's clean. It's not distorted.
And it's, yes.
Not yet.
And then it's just amping up for that. And then it drops everything. And then it just punches in at 125. It all just like boom! Blows open and those vocals come in right with it.
Immediately. And he says, because all they want is a free ride. All they want is a free ride.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Because all they want is a free ride. Oh,
distorted ass guitar. It's so crazy.
Yeah. It's so experimental all the way through the song, too. It doesn't kind of let up on that at all. Because then you get like this tiny little like rap section with that feels so off the cuff and sloppy in the middle of it. And it only lasts for like 3 seconds or something. Yeah. And then it just keeps going.
And then who is it in the background that's going like, hey-ya!
I don't know. It's one of the, I think it's one of the female vocalists.
She's sick, dude.
She's saying, she's doing this like, oh no, oh no, oh no, thing, oh no. Yeah.
It's great, dude. There's so much going on in this song.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the very, very end, it all tapers off, and there's like a beat that hits. And somebody goes, give me more of that beat. Oh my god, dude. I was playing it at the coffee shop. I had to double check my phone wasn't playing Radiohead. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, is this Amnesiac? Is this like Weird Fishes? What is going on?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really well done. Like, I bet you they just all went in there and they just started making noise and they wrote this in like 30 minutes and they recorded it and they move on.
This really feels like that.
Yeah. It's just some random off the cuff song that was one of those that really worked, you know?
That they now play on stage at their shows.
Right. How cool is that?
Like 30 minutes in the studio becomes something you tour with.
You never know.
It sounds so good. I'm really, really happy with that track.
This is one of my favorites for sure. Swimmers. I wrote second favorite next to this one.
Yeah, I love Swimmers. That could be my favorite. I think that might change. That guitar is so good.
I know, right? It is such like a gentle, like it sounds super intimate.
Yeah, it's super intimate, but it's dancey too. Like you could move to that.
I would like be dancing around to it at a show or something. The whole crowd would be moving.
Just like a careful little dance. Like you're not gonna be headbanging, but you're gonna be moving a little bit. And the vocals come in just perfect.
I know. Who's singing on this one? Do you know?
Emily Haynes. I just love this song. I feel like there's nothing more I can say besides just like it's got laid back guitar. The drums are just really kind of holding way back on this one and just letting the guitar and the vocals be up front. And it's just such a nice little song. It's not very long either.
2:55.
Yeah. So. No, it's barely even coming up on 3 minutes. Like it's such a I love it.
The chord progression, it's like the chord progression is really straightforward, but it's done so like such a pretty way. The tone of the guitar is so fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a piano in there too. It's really subtle. It's either a piano or like an upper ranged horn.
What a great idea. I think there's general consensus around the lyrics about just like if you're up late, if you get up late, you're never going to be on time. And basically like
everyone
like these people having like a sexual relationship that where both of them are not vibing in the same, like they are on different wavelengths at this point. And I guess I don't remember what all the lyrics are specifically, which is fine, but like people have talked about how they're a little more crude with sex in Broken Social Scene with the lyrics.
Crude like up front or like in like the description of it.
Yeah, and like the way that they like incorporate sex with their lyrics and stuff. He looks like a swimmer, sperm. Why can't you satisfy? You look good, but you sound better. But other people have claimed that the lyrics actually smell better. Anyways, Hotel. Is that vocals or is that synth?
That's got to be a synth. Dude.
Somebody's like programming that. I think they're like programming someone's vocals into a keyboard or something. Who knows? Because it's like,
it's a cool fucking sound. It adds a lot of texture. What do you think of the song?
It's good. It's got like that cool synth texture. I think is such a cool hook for it. But it sounds like they're like kind of just fucking around a little bit. It's one of my less favorite ones on the album.
Yeah. I would probably lift the needle up on this if I owned the record, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't like a Broken Social Scene sound to me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like windsurfing, swimmers.
This even sounds sort of like Our Faces Split the Coastline in half, except for less punchy and forward driving, you know?
Like, what if they recorded that first one and this one and they just chopped it up?
Maybe. It's possible. Like, you know, or they did like just one after the other, and then this is just not as. I'm just like, okay, cool. You guys are kind of like putting everything on display here, but there's nothing like cohesive happening.
It doesn't grab my attention.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking of grabbing attention.
Oh my god.
What's the next track?
Hand Jobs for the Holidays.
Cool ending that goes into Super
Wow, I know, right? What do you think of the song?
I like this one better than Hotel. Still also one of my like.
This one's okay.
Yeah. But it's a good conduit into Super Connected.
Dude, yes.
I mean, this thing kind of primes you.
That song.
Yeah, this really primes you for Super Connected.
There's a cool swell in the middle. Great guitar at 1 minute in.
Those vocals are nice too.
They are.
Yeah,
they're nice.
Yeah.
Just again, it doesn't like capture too much of my imagination.
Oh, and it's mixed really well. You know, like all the layering.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes for the whole album, but the layering on it. I think this is the song where I was like, you know, all the instruments sound really well balanced.
Imagine taking like a crowd of people, and they're all playing right, and you're mixing that to make this. That's really dude. Good job, David Newfield.
It is at this point in the album where I'm like, okay, I need to be led a little bit more through the album. I'm getting a little lost.
I'm antsy.
Which then we get to Super Connected, where I do think that they're kind of grabbing my attention again. Handjobs for the Holidays into Super Connected. Super Connected is about Kevin Drew's divorce and stuff. And Handjobs for the Holidays, just the title sounds like you're growing apart from somebody and you aren't sleeping with them anymore. Mm-hmm. And the best you can get is handjobs for the holidays.
That's really sad.
I think that might be what the title is about. That's just speculation on my part, but
it sounds on track.
Because then Super Connected is about his divorce. So like if you're going to have a song that leads into another song, I would assume it's the precursor to the thing
setting it up. It's giving you context.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think is Super Connected?
Dude, oh my god, it's probably like my second or third favorite. It's tied for something up there.
Yeah.
It's got a super cinematic intro. Dude, when the whole band comes in, it's just like a dive into the sound, and it's so cinematic and just like it's huge, it's big, it's enormous.
Yeah.
I love the vocal melody.
It's so good.
Oh wow, he's a great hook writer too.
Cages. He is.
You know,
I know they got some great hooks all over this album. For as like purposefully, quote unquote, sloppy it is. He's got some great hooks.
He knows how to do it.
Yeah.
I wrote the energy drops halfway through a little bit, then random ooh ah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he does that.
I know.
Wait, yeah, you should. I think it's on this one.
Dude, fucking great.
Oh,
he's a great vocalist, man.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, man?
Oh, it's great. This is the song. This is the only song I really ever listened to by Broken Social Scene, and I listened to this song a lot.
Really? Is this the song that made you choose the album for this podcast?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I when I was in Smile Victoria, our guitarist.
Dude, what a great band name.
I know, right?
I have to say that every time.
Oh, I know. I am okay with it. I'm okay with it. It is a great band name. But our guitarist was going through a divorce, and he played the song all the time when we were driving around together. And I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good divorce song. And so he would play this, and I was like, I need to fucking listen to this song. And so I've listened to this song a million times.
Did you ever listen to the album ever?
No. No, I've always wondered, like, what would it be like to listen to that Broken Social Scene album? Yeah. This is why we're doing this podcast, because I wouldn't be listening to all these albums otherwise. Like, I just like need something to push myself to do this.
Right, exactly. It's like homework.
The best homework I ever did. But those intro lyrics too. Does it come in cages? Does it come in threes? And he's like, I think he's talking about love, because I think he's talking about like, can this even happen a third time now? You know, like how like,
that's
you know,
so sad.
Yeah,
God.
But everything, all the lyrics are like really vague on this album. So
I like that though.
But this thing just drives. The drums just drive this song.
The ending is crazy.
Yeah,
it peters out, and you mentioned while we were listening to it, it's like such a slow ending, and I was like, maybe it was just a really long divorce.
Yeah, I know. Is this symbolic, or is it just them once again just like being like, because like, are they like, this is a little too this song is a little too put together, let's make sure it's really sloppy at the end.
They're just we're just goofing around in the studio.
Yeah,
right? Who knows? And it has a crazy synth noise
at the end. Bandwitch,
cool.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I like this one, like for like a kind of like a fucking around song, you know. I like this better than like Hotel or Hand Jobs. Like, yeah.
I wrote down more Radiohead vibes.
Yeah, more Radiohead vibes. I don't remember the lyrics, which is fine, but I remember reading them and being like, these. I like these lyrics too. They're more. I'm feeling more like into these ones. I think this one, I'm like, as a whole on this song, I'm surprised at how great they are at kind of composing these full songs of these like kind of noises, and still like having like, there's like a sort of an indie emo feel to this song that I'm like, I don't think I could have cobbled this together with these random kind of sounds that you have.
No, dude, you're combining like Radiohead and much of these like aughts indie rock to make this like sloppy, put together, half polished. Yeah. Good, nice album, you know?
Yeah. It sounds, I do like the sound of this song a little more than the other ones. And I think it is well placed within the album.
I think so too. Yeah. It's not brought me up a ton, just enough.
Mm-hmm. What's the next one called?
Tremolo Debut.
I think this is so well placed in the album. I really need this.
It's perfect. I wish if I were them, I would have totally taken out Finish Your Collapse and Stay for Breakfast. Yeah. Hotel. And leave this one.
But this is...
It's so good, dude.
This sounds really nice. Like, I'm intrigued, but it doesn't stay too long. You know, so I'm just like, okay.
You mentioned it made you think of...
Yoshimi by The Flaming Lips. Yeah, there's something about the guitar reminds me of that.
It's just like this little out-of-tune guitar.
Yeah.
That I think they're just turning some tuning pegs, actually. It's cool. Yeah. It's unusual. Out of the box.
Yeah.
Unconventional.
It's unconventional, and it kind of breaks everything up a little bit. I really think that it comes right at the right spot, especially because It's All Gonna Break is the next song. And the last song on the album, actually, the next, the other 7 songs are actually from the EP To Be You and Me.
It was a nod to like another EP or
to a book called there was this
Free to Be With You and Me.
Free to Be You and Me. There was this book written that a bunch of like Gen X people know about that they all read. It was like Everybody Poops kind of thing, you know. Like you never read that? Or Good Night Moon or something?
Good Night Moon.
Yeah, like it was one of those books that everybody knew the name of, like Gen X people. So they jokingly named the EP just to make sure this is all organized. Tremolo debut leads into It's All Gonna Break, which is the last track on the album, because technically the other 7 tracks are actually the EP To Be You and Me, and we will not be covering those today. Also, they don't really fit. It ending on the next song really works, and if you pile the rest of them don't really fit with this album.
I was listening in the coffee shop, and I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, this is a long album. Yeah. And what song is after this one? I'm sorry.
Her disappearing theme.
Yeah, it comes on. I'm like,
it's the start to a whole different sounding.
Yeah, exactly.
Album or EP. Ooh, yeah.
Oh my God, gonna break. Seeing that live would be crazy.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that would be that's a great song to end the set on or open the set on even.
Oh.
I guess you'd have to keep the energy up at the end, but yeah, you could, you know. This is surprisingly straightforward compared to the other songs on the album.
I'm glad they ended it on a straightforward note personally.
Yeah, it's also so this would not be a straightforward song for another band because it really peters out at the end and they really slow it down.
There's so many tempo changes.
But for this album, this is a pretty straightforward song.
Right, yeah. The horns at the end. And the guitar feedback.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They like kind of tack an extra ending onto the ending, and it's okay though because they switch it up so much that you're like.
We said this is about them like breaking, like ending as a band, right?
Yeah. Well, this was
not working.
This was him feeling like. I mean, there was a lot of interpersonal stuff going on between band members too that I'm not going to get into. But Kevin Drew was kind of afraid that they were kind of breaking up and like splitting apart and stuff, and he called this song therapeutic.
Nice.
And helped process shit that was going on with the collective.
Drama.
I got more about it, but what do you think? What do you think of it? What do you think of the song?
The song? Dude, it's fucking great. Yeah. It's 10 minutes of a sound I really like.
Yeah.
No complaints. I just can't like get out of my head like how... It's like one of the live songs, right? This is like the song you end the set with and you go home and like, that's... I saw Broken Social Scene right when they came out with this album and they played It's All Gonna Break, you know?
Yeah.
That's the one song you tell people about from the show, you know?
Yep.
Big energy, big ending. You said they like it's like attacking on an extra ending after.
Yeah.
And since since it's kind of like he's talking about like the band not working out or something and maybe breaking up or whatever. Maybe it's like that extra ending is like people in the band don't want it to end, but they're trying to drag it out.
Yeah.
So they're like making the ending go a little bit longer, and it's still working.
Yeah.
Just longer.
And it feels a little bit like he's drawing out. Yeah. He's like drawing out his feelings about this too, and like, is it gonna break? You know, and if it does, I don't want this to end.
Exactly. I don't want it to end. So I'm gonna make a 10-minute fucking song with like 3 endings. You know. Yeah.
The horns are great, and then once this that's the thing is this is 10 minutes long, which is a long time for a song, but because they kind of never go back to anything else that they've done in the song, and so you have to keep listening because it's still interesting the whole way through, even once they've slowed this thing way down.
It's still interesting, and his vocal melody is still so great through the whole song. He's got this great flowing melody that he just never quits out on, you know.
Great ending to an album.
Great ending to a great album.
Yeah.
Would you buy this on vinyl?
Dude, I've been thinking about that.
Well, let's say, because all the presses came with the EP with it. Would you buy only the first 14 songs on vinyl?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I need the EP. Yeah, I think I would get this on vinyl. It's barely a yes, but yeah, I think I would.
I barely would too.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
There are some songs in here that like really hit for me.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, is
hard,
a majority of this album really hits for me, and there's only a couple points that feel a little too down for me, but they bounce back so well.
Yeah.
On Super Connected that I'm like, okay.
Why not?
Sure. And, if I listen to this thing like 20 times or whatever, I might find myself enjoying those middle songs eventually too.
They'll grow closer to your heart.
Yeah. It's happened on this podcast already, though, like doing this. I've listened to most of the albums I'll listen to at least like 5 times before we record, and there's a lot of stuff I've come back around to because I've listened to the album so many times. I'm like, I actually think I like this. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to give something a chance.
Yeah.
Listen to it a couple more times.
Their next album after this is actually Kevin Drew's Spirit If album, but it's Broken Social Scene presents Spirit If by Kevin Drew. And they did that a few times.
Weird.
So the actual next album for the band is what's it called again?
Forgiveness Rock Record.
Yeah, they came out with that in 2010. That's actually the next album for the band, but they in between. So this came out, and
they have some other separate.
So they had separate solo albums.
I see.
But everybody in the group played on the albums and stuff, even though they were solo albums. So like Brendan had a solo album and stuff. So they did Broken Social Scene presents yada yada album, and really the next Broken Social Scene album isn't until 2010. And they
really,
they had 2. I think it's right. They had 2 solo albums and then 1 live album, and then they had their next actual full album.
So they're doing a lot of shit, man.
Yeah. They work a lot when they can. How many listeners do they have?
How many do you think?
Oh, what was it? I saw it yesterday. It was like 715.
775.4.
775.4.
Yeah, almost 800 people.
Yeah.
800,000.
Which, I wish I had that many followers, but this band should have at least 1 million.
I know, right?
Yeah. They just, for some reason, never quite got there. And there was a book about the band that was published called This Book is Broken. And it came out, and they played a show for it. Cool. The show they played was during these like big strikes in Toronto at the time. And so then they had a documentary made about them playing the show for the book, but the documentary actually had to kind of capture the strike that was going on and how that affected like the music they were playing and stuff. Yeah. So it's this whole interesting thing, like where there's been a book written about them that I remember seeing on shelves a lot. And I didn't know the band then. Yeah. So but I thought the name This Book is Broken was a really cool name for a book. So they've had like so much, like people have written about them, and they have this documentary they come out with and stuff, and yet they never quite captured the fan base that you would think they would have, because maybe it's because they're fucking assholes to each other behind the scenes. That might have something to do with it.
Honestly, I really think it is. There's so many good bands that could have been great, but
they don't seem to all work great together. They all seem to be very like, well, I fucking hate you in the band, and they just like don't give a shit that they're being dicks to each other.
Well, they're missing that X factor. What me, you, and Mia have.
I know. I was looking at those interviews, and I was like, I would never say something like this.
Dude, imagine us sitting in an interview and just being there and be like, Nate, just can't stand the way he drums. And I look right at you in the interview. It's like,
that'd be wild.
What the fuck? Are you in a band?
And it's nothing even that direct. It's them like, just like saying little things that needle at the other people. This album was released October 4th, 2005 on the Arts and Crafts label. In September 2012, the album went gold in Canada.
Nice.
So, okay. Upon release, it won the Juno Award for Best Alternative Album of the Year, and it hit number 1 in the American College charts.
I feel like that's pretty significant.
It didn't clock the Billboard Top 200 at all, but I mean, number 1 on the college charts is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Especially considering, like we've been talking about, all the stuff that was coming out around then too. And then before I get into the Billboard, Kevin Drew did this interview with Paste, and he talked about his new album, Aging, that came out in 2023. And he talked, and they were like, are you guys going to do another tour anytime soon? And he said that they work other jobs.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was like, our rates haven't changed in the last 15 years, but just follow the price of butter in the last 15 years. Getting on a bus and touring around, you look at that and then you have to gauge it. It does come down to that bumper sticker of what does it give you? Beyond the economics of it, what does it fulfill you? That's it. Yeah. So they do like these little like one-off like 2-show tours. Like we can't go to the UK or Europe because they'll just lose money.
Right.
Yeah. So he talks about that, about like they have this fan base in the UK that wants to hear them, but it would cost too much to rent out the venue because they won't make the ticket sales. And I was even reading like some fans left comments all over the internet, and they were like, I flew to the United States to make sure that I saw them, or to Canada, whichever one.
Imagine having fans do that for you. How cool is that?
Yeah. That's such a great fan base, and that sucks. And he says they really have devalued music. So when you devalue music, it's just a ripple effect. But fortunately, people still love to go to the shows. But then there's the whole conversation about how much the shows are today, what the cost starts at to put the show on, what the rentals for the venues are. Mm-hmm. It seems like things will have to fall apart in the next 5 to 10 years for us to continue. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to look good for any of us when that happens. So I'm not hoping for that either. I just don't know how to press the reset button.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's so torn.
So they love playing music, and they're in that little area where like they have a lot of fans out there, and they just can't get to them because they just can't raise enough money to tour.
It's bullshit. Their music is so good.
Somebody did an interview this year where they did a little aside saying that Broken Social Scene's got new music coming out.
Sick.
So the people have wondered if they've been working on something. They do have something coming out, I think 2025. So
that's this year.
So that's something to look forward to. Hey, they get a good single on there. Maybe that gets enough money to just get them on tour again, because I would love to see these guys live.
I would too, man.
Billboard Top 200. So this album comes out October 5th. Week of October 8th is the nearest one after this. Number 10, 25 to Life by T.I. The People's Champ by Paul Wall is at number 9. Number 8, Monkey Business by the Black Eyed Peas. I don't remember that album even. And then it's a lot of new stuff on here. Number 7 is Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4 by Coheed and Cambria. Certified by David Banner.
I don't know. Guilty
Pleasures by Barbra Streisand. She came up on here before. Dude.
She's always getting it, dude. She knows what she's doing. She's a good musician.
Number 4, So Amazing, an all-star tribute to Luther Vandross. Mm-hmm. Late Registration by Kanye West is at number 3. Have a Nice Day by Bon Jovi is at number 2. And then at number 1, 10,000 Fists by Disturbed. Dude, let's tear into some Billy Bauer.
Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk about Billy Bauer. This would be in my top 100 albums of all time.
You go ahead and tell me about Billy Bauer.
Sure, man. Well, Nate, tell me about Billy. What you know about Billy?
What do I know?
Yeah, before this.
Oh, before this. Okay, I was like, I got some notes. I want to hear you talk about it first. Nothing. I knew nothing about Billy Bauer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, he has one album only. That was it. Yep. First and last. His only solo frontman album. Everything in his entire career, he was always the sideman.
Yeah.
He's a incredible one of the first ever real deal jazz guitarists in New York. Yeah. Right. The father of jazz guitar, whatever the fuck. He's up there with the greats, okay? He's a great comper. He's a great rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
And he was urged to just go out and make an album, so he did it. He called it Plectrist.
Yeah.
Came out in 1956.
Plectrist.
No date, just 1956.
1956.
So it comes out on Norgran Records.
Yep.
Dude, which had so many of the greats.
Yeah.
Dizzy Gillespie, Stan Getz.
Yeah.
Tal Farlow. Oh my god. Buddy Rich.
Dude, Buddy Rich.
Johnny Hodges. Teddy Wilson. Oh, dude. It is so many humongous people under this label doing all this stuff around the same time. In the same studios. imagine you go in and record and like you play a nice line and Stan Getz walks up and he's like, "Hey, cool cat, I like that line. You want to join?"
Yeah.
That's just like kind of how it happened. The only original songs on here by Billy Bauer are Lincoln Tunnel, Night Cruise, Lady Estelle's Dream, and Moon Mist. Everything else is like a standard.
Mm-hmm.
He did so much around New York. I tried to do less about like his personal history and say more towards like this time period in his career.
Sure.
Right? Because he was doing all this stuff and work and studying. So the story is Norman Granz, the producer, walks up to him and he's like, "Hey, I want you to make an album." And then Billy's like, "Yeah, sure." So a year later, Norman Granz comes back to Billy and he's like, So where's that album?
Yeah.
Bauer forgot to do it, man.
Yeah. He'd just been playing around.
He was just playing shows and hanging out and having a good time in Manhattan.
I think he just didn't think it was a big deal that he have an album too.
No, he didn't. He's a player, man.
Yeah.
And he's a proper player. So he didn't really care or not if like he had his own solo work. So Granz is like, "Dude, what the hell? You got to make me an album." So on the fly, the people in his like immediate social circle, that he was playing all of these gigs with and stuff, he didn't have anyone particular in mind. He says, "I just called these guys up to do the date. These guys are Milt Hinton on bass, O.Z. Johnson on drums, Billy on guitar." Andrew Ackers on piano, and the conductor was Fran Warren. Photography in and around the studio, probably the album cover, definitely the 4 panels on the back was by Herman Leonard.
Yep.
So he just calls those guys up randomly. He's like, "I have this record. I have to make this record."
Yeah.
We didn't even rehearse. We did mostly standards and a few of my own tunes. I ran over my tune Lincoln Tunnel for Andy once, and that was about it. Blue Mist was an unaccompanied solo.
Blue Mist is great, but he can do that in his head, right? But to show a song to somebody like one time and then just play it as well as they play it on this album.
Especially the Lincoln Tunnel, because it's different, right?
Yeah,
we'll get
it
it.
Is.
It sounds kind of different. But dude, you play that like once or twice for your boys. "Hey guys, are we ready?
We good to go?" Oh shit.
Oh my god. Yeah. You know how crazy is that? So like these guys, like they're the masters of their craft, okay? This is like the highest musical level you can get. Jazz, in my opinion. Yeah. Because they're doing during this time period, this album, like what they're doing in the scene it's new, it's bold, it's hip, it's different. He was studying with Tal Farlow a lot. Yeah. Not like a crazy amount, but like there was a stint of their relationship, and he would have them like, he would play the chord progression of a standard, and he'd say like, "Hey, you got to write a melody over top of this, but it can't be the original melody." And they'd do a lot of like free-flowing chord progressions with like melodies flowing in and out of key. It was just really new and unique. Yeah. It was brave, right?
It's all over this album too.
I know.
It's so cool.
This cool, great album was recorded in 1956 at Fine Sound, New York City, which was the Great Northern Hotel on 57th Street. Yes. I lived on 47th Street, so that's
so you were
my
just
neighborhood.
10 blocks away. Yeah, what was it? 118, 57th Street.
Tracks 1 through 4 were recorded January 23rd. Tracks 5 through 15, March 12th.
2 days. They did this album in 2 days, and people were having just kind of like learn a song and then play it.
Yeah.
That's how good.
And doing gigs in between, just coming back and like, I guess I got to go back to the studio and record this really quick. Yeah. I need to go make money at the show. Yeah. What a cool life. Something I really like about the record or the album sleeve, it says a panoramic true hi-fi recording.
Yeah, isn't that so cool?
Because it's a panorama of sounds in high fidelity. It's clean. It's not, there's no like tape hiss or anything. Nothing.
On the record, it says long playing micro groove. Cool.
I'll show you a micro groove. Listen to me.
How cool is that?
I know. Oh, this is the terminology they use. What the fuck? He's got his own book. He used to have a website. He'd send out all kinds of sheet music in the mail.
He really cared about people like knowing how to do this.
Dude, he got so old, he was still teaching people guitar. Like through the 70s, 80s, 90s. He was just teaching people out on Long Island somewhere, just guitar. William Henry Bauer was born in the Bronx. Yeah. Right? Of a German immigrant family, November 4th, 1915. He died of pneumonia in New York State at age 89. He began playing ukulele and banjo. He switched to guitar later in the early 30s.
Yep.
In 1946, he played with Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
And Jack Teagarden, which is
cool.
Holy shit! Benny Goodman is larger than life. From 1947 to 53, he recorded in the Metronome All-Stars group, which I saw on the billboard.
Yeah, did you see the people in the group?
Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, Lenny Tristano, and Fats Navarro.
Whoa!
Holy shit, man! These are like the greatest of the great. Okay.
Did you read about the Lenny stuff?
That's where he studied with him for a second.
Yeah, Lenny was like his big influence on him.
Yeah. He studied with him, which is really cool.
He played on his albums from 46 to 49. And he taught him about scales and why they're so important.
Yeah, in the back of a barber shop or candy store or something.
Yeah.
So in the heady mid-century years, Lenny Tristano and Charlie Parker were with Bauer a lot, playing gigs everywhere, just playing this is what he did.
Yeah.
So the masters, Tristano and Parker, encouraged him to develop his gift for blistering fast phrasing of unison themes and for blowing bebop improvisation. Plectrist, his only LP as a leader, reflects those influences so well.
Yeah.
All their stuff is like present in it. It's really cool. He went to John D'Angelico's shop.
Oh, okay.
He saw him himself.
Wow.
I had a D'Angelico. It was in Bedford. And it plays. They all play fantastic.
Yeah. But we went to one of their stores in Aspen.
No way.
And they offered to let us use one of their guitars for the night at the show. Did I tell you about this? And then,
no, wait, dude, what the fuck?
When I was in Old 40, we played a show in Aspen, and we went in there, and and they were like, we're gonna play at the Silver Saloon or whatever it was called, and they were like, oh, if you guys want, you can just take one of the guitars there for the night, and we're gonna go there later, so we could just get it back and take it back to the shop.
Oh my god!
And Jackson like held the guitar and played it for a little bit, and he was like, "This is the best sounding guitar I've ever held." And he was like, "I am not taking this with us. If anything happens, I am so in the shit for this." Like so.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah, and so we didn't do it, but we went in and they just like
wow.
they were so like cool. It was so weird because I was like, other bands play here. It's not like we're the only people. But they were so like accommodating to us and stuff in that place. And they gave us a shit ton of picks.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. So Bauer, he goes to 40 Kenmare Street, which is like right above Little Italy.
Yeah.
He goes and sees the man himself, John D'Angelico.
Cool.
One of the most like important luthiers ever. I don't know, I read this and I was just like starstruck. So you're walking into this. So he's like, hey, make me a guitar. Yeah. So he makes him one. And he says, he says, it was an interview, D'Angelico calls him a few months later and tells Bauer to stop by. Come in around 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he says.
Yeah.
So Bauer shows up at the shop. He walks in. D'Angelico shuts the door. He locks it.
Yeah.
He gets 2 glasses and a bottle of wine. He pours some wine. And he says, play my guitar for me.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I'm like fangirling over here.
Cool.
Man. That's so huge.
That's really cool.
So it turned out to be a 1953 D'Angelico Excel.
Okay.
Which is a really, really nice guitar.
So just because this is the only album that he ever did, I thought I learned like a little bit about his backstory and stuff. Just to see like what happened to him growing up to like lead into this and everything. Because this is one of the few artists where we get to kind of do like the beginning and end.
That's true. That's true.
In one episode. He dropped out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he was like 14 or something. And he played 7 nights a week at the Sherwood Inn in New Hyde Park. Starting at 9 p.m. with no clear ending hours. So if there were people in there at 3:30 a.m.,
he's playing.
You were still playing. But he talked about how at 3:30 you were out of energy, and so you'd just play way slower than you were playing earlier, and that really got him into this groove of like you could really experiment with where the sound went at a certain time. And he had a different lineup of musicians every night that he played with.
Insane, dude. That's like sitting. You're sitting down. You say, "Hey, gentlemen, so like we're playing all these standards tonight. Ready? You've never seen these people, and you just play a song that everyone knows.
Yeah,
but it never sounds the same.
Never sounds the same. which is so cool.
It's unbelievable.
That's the cool thing about jazz. The rest of this, I want to say, I got from an interview with Monk Rowe, who's a jazz historian and a saxophonist. So he makes a living studying jazz history and playing jazz.
Cool.
And he has a podcast called Jazz Backstory. I think his podcast might be worth checking out because
I'm going to listen to it.
Sounds cool.
Yes.
At 14, he was playing in speakeasies. And then he got a job in Far Rockaway, like a job playing a club in Far Rockaway, and moved there. And then pretty quickly after that, he began touring. But then his dad tried to make him work at the age of 16 at the printing press that he worked at.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it was off of 11th Street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
his family was not into him being a musician.
Yeah, no, they were like, okay, that's great, but when are you gonna get a real job? And they were telling that, and he was like,
having fun.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I was getting a little older. I was like 16 at the time, and and I'm listening to this interview like, dude, you had everything ahead of you.
I know.
He refused to work at the printing press, but because he wanted to impress his dad and show him he could work a real job, he wound up working at an imitation silk factory. And the guy who ran the factory found out he was a musician, and he was like, why are you even here? He was like, also, I give you every job at this place and you can do anything. He's like, a lot of these guys here, they have families and kids and stuff, and they can only do one thing, and I only pay them so much, but you can do anything. So do you want to move up and be like the foreman who like oversees the silk underwear section?
God.
Yeah. And he was like, I can pay you $35 a week, which I converted. That's now $680 a week. So that's like not bad money for a fucking 16-year-old. Bauer quit the job after that happened, saying he needed to see out the musician thing. He was like, if I start making that much money at this age, I'm going to lock into this job. And his boss was like, please. He's like, please don't quit. And he goes, no, I need to leave. And his boss goes, no, I understand that. But just wait 2 weeks because you get a Christmas bonus if you...
Are you serious?
Yeah, if you stay. And he goes, man, I'm playing nights at the Sherwood Inn right now, and I'm working this job. It's a lot to do. And his boss was like, tell you what, come in for 2 weeks and just sleep in the back and just get to that Christmas bonus, man. Yeah, and so so Monk Rowe in the interview was like, that sounds like a nice boss, and he's like, he was. His name was Mr. Keys, and he was a really nice boss.
I was about to ask if you knew the name. I'm so glad his name lived on.
Yeah,
that dude. Wow, that's sick. How much was the bonus?
I don't know, but he said he got his Christmas bonus, so it was just interesting to hear about his his like growing up, just like focused on music the whole time.
Yeah. So our first song on this beautiful album is called "It's a Blue World."
It's a blue world.
What do you think of it, man?
Oh, it's great. No, you should talk about it first.
Oh, you should. It is so excellent. It's a blue world. It is such a slow, relaxed song. He's doing nothing crazy.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing, man. He's comping perfectly throughout. It's not overdone.
Yeah.
There's so many key changes. The piano in the back is like accenting his melody.
That piano.
Perfectly. Oh. Andrew Ackers, man.
Mm-hmm.
The drums were excellent. Milt Hinton. O.C. Johnson. Bass, amazing.
Yeah.
Milt Hinton.
Oh.
It's the perfect
It really sounds
first
good.
song on the album.
This has an introductory track to this, just nice and easy, and it's like this album's for the most part just gonna be nice and easy.
Dude, his guitar tone. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's that's like classic hollow body sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's so gentle. His dynamics are excellent. He knows when to play quietly. He plays a little harder here and there.
It's melodic at times, and then there's like touches of like jazz here and there.
It's abstract enough in the right places to be like, this is really new and interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll go to next. Maybe I Love You Too Much. What do you think, man?
Oh, it's so good. It's like snappy right off the top, and then that bass kicks in, and that bass line goes for a walk on this song.
He never stops.
It's just walking around. Yeah. And then the piano just dances around everything. Mm-hmm. It gets a little solo in there, but like it dances around everybody the whole time.
To it.
And Bauer is just like, this is the it's a blue world, so it just introduces this thing. But this one is Bauer kind of being like, I have chops and I'm going to show them off on this track.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. And like, you know, we brought you into this album carefully. This one's going to be the track where I really lay down what I can do and show you, like, you're in for a fucking ride on this album. I still think it's kind of a gentle ride, but it's a ride. I think you're going for a ride.
This is bebopping along. This is his fingers are flying, dude. He has such like really nice like single note melodies through the whole song, and then like kind of in the later half, he does an awesome comping solo to the end, and it's just like it's so tasty, and his tone is like you can hear every note so evenly, right?
Yeah.
There's a really nice bass solo in the middle, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, great drum solo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a one part I'd have to like look at the timestamps. So this is in my top like 50 songs of all time.
Oh, really?
This is in my top.
Is this your favorite song on the album?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, dude. I've listened. This is my most played on Spotify for like 2 years.
Wow.
I love this song, man.
It's so cool.
To me, this is the song that like this is what living in Manhattan feels like.
Yeah.
This song right here.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's boppy. There's a lot of like key changes, right? There's a walking bass, a steady thumping rhythm. There's nice drums and a sparkly piano.
Yeah.
That's everything, man.
Yeah. It's such a great song. I really like this one.
Dude, I'm so glad you enjoy this. All right, what's up next?
Lincoln Tunnel. Dude, the beginning is like this like spy thriller.
Yeah.
You know, like sounding like bass line and drums that come in.
You ever look up pictures of like the Lincoln Tunnel on the inside back in this time?
No, not back in the day.
They had like a little, you know, have you been in it?
Yeah.
You know how there's like a walkway along the side?
Yeah.
There's a little police car that was attached to the wall and it would slide down.
Oh.
You gotta look up pictures of it sometime.
Yeah.
But it's just like this weird, like, there's a policeman working in a tunnel filled with noxious car fumes. And that's like kind of what it's just like this weird...
Cool.
Yeah. It's
cool.
There's a lot of like piano and bass feature on the song, which is nice.
Yes.
Billy's like, hey, let me play a little solo stuff in the beginning and hand it over.
He was up front on the last song, so it's only fair that he like kind of be a little more in the back on this one. Especially, like, it's his album, but if you want the album to flow, you're not going to just be featured on every single song, you know?
Right.
The drum solo was cool, and then the piano takes over as the lead just before the stand-up bass comes in and like solos the shit out of this. Like,
kills it, dude.
Yeah, that like soloing like crazy on a stand-up bass is just such a cool,
I know,
like maneuver in this song.
It's a hard thing to do too. Those strings are like the size of my feet.
Yeah, dude, those are huge. Probably one of the best fade outs in history.
Boom, 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 boom.
They come right back into that intro and just fade it out.
It's perfect, dude.
Yeah,
that song is organized so well.
That's a solid fade out.
This was written by Billy Bauer.
Yeah, this is one of his originals.
Up next, we have
Night Cruise. What do you think of Night Cruise?
Oh, it's great, man.
Yeah,
it's such like it's a great spot in the album too. You know.
Yeah.
Like the snappiness of Maybe I Love You Too Much.
Yeah.
And like the action of Lincoln Tunnel. It's so well done, dude. He's not showing off in this song. He's just playing a lot of nice melodies throughout. Bass solo. Really tasteful comping at the end.
It's a very like kind of cute number. Like right at the beginning.
Night Cruise, yeah, it's in a great spot in the set.
It is. Too Marvelous for Words. Great bass line.
Dude, fucking great bass line. You know, he's playing some nice comping stuff. I mean, more or less, he's doing a lot of the same stuff on a lot of these songs. It's just done in a different way every time.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fresh take on every single thing. Because this, dude, Bing Crosby sang this song. Frank Sinatra sang this song.
That's where I know it from. I was like, why do I know this?
The song has been done so many times, yet none of the times have ever sounded like this one.
Yeah.
This is its own thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like he wrote it. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's by this point in the album that I can pick his guitar out. You know?
Yeah.
Like, not that anyone else is even playing guitar, but, you know, like at this point, I'm like, I've heard his guitar playing enough that I'm really getting like what he's doing.
It has a distinct personality.
Other people. Yes.
That's the end of side A.
The little da 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 at the end. It's such a good ending. Yeah.
I know, it's such a gentle, like, feels like a flag blowing in the wind or something.
Yeah.
It had a little fade out there. Wow. So,
what do you like about this one?
Everything, dude. Come on. This was he also wrote this song, Lady Estelle's Dream. It's a lot lower energy, but it still has momentum, you know?
Yeah.
It feels bouncy.
Yeah.
And there's a nice vibe shift in the middle. The drums switch up.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I really liked a lot.
I really like that. They go into this like halftime thing.
Yeah.
And I like the guitar a lot on this track, but I really like the rhythm section on this track.
They're holding the song down.
Yeah.
He's more or less just doing like little melodies.
He's like noodling around them, but they are doing this halftime, and it's so cool.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Next up, You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To.
Ooh.
Wow, man.
You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To. This is my favorite.
Oh, wow. Really?
On the album.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a little more manic. It's a little, it stands out a little bit from all the other tracks. The piano is like killer on this track. It like really stands out. And then that part, there's like the part where it's like a lot of just piano. It's like piano and bass
solo run. Like he solos this whole song.
Yeah.
The bass solo, then the
piano solos,
then the bass, and then what happens?
And then it's like the guitar is like asking permission to come back in. It like slowly kind of comes back in, like, are you guys done? Is it okay if I like come back in? And they like just starts playing again, like all over the track. And I'm like, this sounds so cool. They're all just like gelling on this track so well while like doing their separate things.
Yes, dude. Oh, this is a great like example of like a group that really is tight together.
Yeah.
That solo, when he's leading back in from the bass solo, in the faint back, he's like turned his guitar down really low.
Yeah.
And he's comping in the background, but it's so fucking quiet.
Yeah.
And he had that little staggered like
It's so good.
Dude, he is a master phraser, okay? He knows how to phrase like the segments of the song. He plays these runs up and down in like such a way where it's fitting in perfectly with the chord progression. A lot of the times the band is playing, it's like he'll play, because this song, You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To, was written by Cole Porter in 1943 for the film Something to Shout About.
Okay. And
so it's the obvious melody is like from the movie, and then everything cuts out and it's silent, and Billy will go like,
yeah,
and then everyone comes back in and his solo starts.
Yeah.
It's just like a great like maker's mark of like, this is how my solos go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so good. It's so tasty.
Oh, tasty. Yeah, man, this is such a good song.
Hey, when it's sleepy time down south. That's such a great title.
I know. What do you like about it?
I think that this is really like where, like earlier on the album, I was like, I'm starting to be able to pick out Bauer specifically. And now I'm like,
you know him now.
And at this point I'm like, and also I need to recognize that this album is flowing so well.
I know.
Like the flow of this album is great. And if we're going to compare this to other albums we've done, they have the advantage of not having vocals and not being like a rock band and stuff, you know,
right.
but I mean, they're still having to walk their tightrope of making sure that they don't do too much like snappy stuff that's in your face and too much guitar.
And they're so severely limited in like their sound, right?
Right.
No distortion,
exactly.
No pedals. It's literally just the guitar, chord amp, drum kit, upright bass. That's it.
Yeah. And so because of that, they are now going back to a slower, more relaxed number. Mm-hmm. And I'm totally fine with it because I get to honestly think a little bit about You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To, because it's such a fun song. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
And then I get to listen to this one and be like, I can just kind of let this one drift in and just sort of think about like, wow, this song is great too, because it's capitalizing on like how fast that last one was. I mean, it's like
really, an afterglow of the last one, you know?
Yeah. This one just comes in with like, this is what like lo-fi songs like now are kind of like pulling from.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Damn, that is such a good point.
Like, yeah.
Wow. That's the quote of the episode right there. Holy shit, dude. You're so right though, man. Seriously.
This is very much that feeling. Like you could slip this into one of those lo-fi playlists on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would
They would have no idea it was old or new or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you think of this song?
Dude, it's like you're matching everything I'm feeling inside. Like you're speaking for me.
The
placement, I just like can't get over how good the placement is, man. It's a great song. It's not his. It was written by Clarence Muse, Leon Renee, and Otis Renee, sung by Nina Mae McKinney in the movie Safe in Hell in 1931. Oh. And it became the signature song of Louis Armstrong, who recorded it almost 100 times during his career.
Wow.
Cool, right?
That was his... Whatever.
So the next song, number 3 on the B side, is The Way You Look Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the film Swing Time. It has that very classic. He plays the melody. The whole band cuts out. He does a flurry of a little intro to a solo and just flies up and down his fucking fretboard like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. It's really well done.
I know.
It sounds great. Lullaby of the Leaves.
Dude, so the beginning, man, he's got some weird notes going on, and it sounds like leaves kind of swishing and falling through the air.
Yeah.
He does some awesome, like, Wes Montgomery style octave playing, which is really nice. What do you think of the song?
Yeah, it's great imagery for the song.
Yeah. What does it make you think of? Like, where are you?
Oh, autumn leaves falling off of trees. I mean, in Central Park, but that's kind of just because of my brain. The walking up and down, there's a lot of like walking up and down that sounds great. The guitar sounds great on this.
The piano's tone is really like crisp and it's like a great pairing of his like nice darker warm guitar sound to like this like bright piano.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. And then. It's a sad day because we have to do the last song on the album. The album I never wanted to end ever. It's called Blue Mist. It's just him.
That's like the best way to end this album.
This is everything I ever wanted to be as a guitar player.
Yeah.
That right there. He's flying up and down. He's playing in so many different keys.
Yeah.
He's comping. He's playing like a melody through the comping.
Yeah.
He's playing harmonics.
Yeah.
Dude, what the perfect way to... If he started with this, if he ended with this, it's perfect.
I think this is the perfect ending because we've kind of gotten the whole... You're basically like, what different thing can you even do now?
That.
And he's not even like, it's going to be me and bass or me and drums. He's like, it's just me. And I'm just going to like do this really experimental kind of track.
Dude, yeah, that was like new. That was different.
This is really similar to T-Rex ending their album with Ripoff.
Yeah.
Where like you have this whole album, whole different direction, end it.
He occupies all the space like with just his guitar, and it sounds like a full group. And then there's so 30 seconds of silence, and then in the last 2 seconds, the man in the booth, he goes, "Master tape something, take one."
Master Tape's on number 26, take one. Yeah. And you can really hear the static on this track more than the other ones.
It's nice. The hiss is really nice.
Yeah.
Would you buy this on vinyl?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You would.
I would do anything to have this on record. Oh my god.
Yeah. I know you would have this on vinyl for sure.
I'm his biggest fanboy.
Yeah.
Billy. Come on. William.
Billy Bauer. Billy Bauer's 17.8 thousand monthly listeners.
For a dead jazz musician, that's pretty damn good.
That's pretty damn good.
Okay, so Billboard. There's no official release month for Plectrist. However, recordings were done January 23rd and March 12th, so most likely the album came out in March.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Billboard Top 200 was created March 24th, 1956.
12 days after this came out.
12 days after this was recorded.
Yeah.
This is the top 10 for March 24th, 1956, from page 26 of the Billboard's music popularity charts, packaged records.
Okay.
Number 10, The Man with the Golden Arm, soundtrack.
Yep.
Sparkling Strings, Lawrence Welk Choral. Music to Change Her Mind, Jackie Gleason.
The Student Prince,
Mario Lanza.
Mm-hmm.
4 freshmen and 5 trombones. Julie is her name. Julie London Liberty.
Okay.
The Benny Goodman Story. It's a soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. I bet you that's so good. Carousel. Soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Soundtrack.
Oh. Oklahoma, where the wind... Yep.
And the first ever #1 on the Billboard's Top 200 ever was Belafonte.
Calypso, dude. Oh.
Dude, I listened to a podcast on him. He's going to be on the next year's.
Yeah. He's incredible. Also, I mean, the fact that, because Calypso, people still listen to.
I know. Like, I had that on record, dude.
Everything else you just named, like Lawrence Welk, I kind of know basically because there's an SNL bit about him and stuff. But like
the 4 freshmen I knew, Benny Goodman,
you know,
Oklahoma, even like people know what that is.
But Belafonte is like without a doubt like the one that people in our culture still.
Oh, dude,
no,
he's amazing. Yeah, so really cool moment in music history to have an album right when the Billboard 200 come out. You know. Yeah, do you have any other info?
We have to. How do you think these albums compared?
How do I think they compared?
They're
both doing something new.
Yeah,
something different than what everyone else is doing.
They're also doing a lot of throwing people together and just playing.
Yeah, dude.
But it's so interesting because one of them, I think, kind of purposefully is sloppy about it, and kind of, really like lays into that. And the other ones that they're like, we already play bills all the time at these like hotels and stuff around town, so we can kind of just get together in a room and be professional musicians.
Clean, like exact,
Yeah.
What is I'm thinking of a certain word.
Precise.
Oh yeah, thanks, dude.
Also, both albums this is more random, have extra tracks that we did not cover.
Yeah, that blew my mind actually. Oh, does the listener? Is there a crossover between the listener base? Do you think?
No.
I like both of these bands.
I do too, but no, I don't think so.
In general, probably not.
If someone's listening to Broken Social Scene, I'm not going. You know who you should check out. Billy Bauer. And honestly, it goes even harder the other way, I think.
So next week, please join us on our lovely podcast for
Life of Leisure by Washed Out and the Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, that's next week. Wow.
Yeah.
We're catching up a little bit because that seems more recent, me listening to that.